The youngest age children show signs of understanding the concept of sharing is around 3 years old. But sharing can be hard for kids of all ages.
Yeah, I feel like we've all heard a kid or two yell "mine" when they're interacting with other children or adults and declaring ownership of something. It's only natural, after all, for us to want to keep what is ours. But sometimes we don't always do this very well. And maybe at a young age, you learned about the 7th commandment, "You shall not steal." It's one of those commandments that's also reflected in our civil law.
But this concept of ownership is actually rather complicated. The world is full of gifts created by God for us to enjoy, and as we grow and develop, we learn that they're not just there for the taking. Preschoolers tend to take things they like if they don't think anyone is looking, but beginning around age 6 or 7, children begin understanding that there are certain rules that should govern their behavior, even when no one's around.
This idea of ownership requires us to trust, respect, and extend charity toward others. God reveals in the 7th commandment that this mutual agreement to respect the right to own property, God's created goods, is required if we are to live in relationship with one another.
Well, really, God is the one who owns everything He created.
Exactly. God created us, and He created the world and everything in it as a gift to all humankind. All of us have a right to use the gifts of God's creation in order to have our legitimate needs met.
It's important to keep this ultimate purpose or destination of creation in mind as we think about this commandment and how we relate to people and things. The Catechism says in paragraph 2451, the 7th commandment enjoins the practice of justice and charity in the administration of earthly goods and the fruits of men's labor.
Answering Jesus' call to love one another as He has loved us is not easy. Even if you've never been tempted to steal something outright, God reveals in the 7th commandment and the 10th commandment how we can live out this call to respect creation and God's purpose for it.
The 7th commandment forbids theft, and in the 10th commandment, God speaks about our heart's disposition towards creation and others' property. The 10th commandment might be lesser known and understood. God says, "You shall not covet."
We're created with a desire to enjoy and appreciate God's creation. But this desire can be corrupted by sin. When our desire for goods becomes disordered, we can become greedy, envious, and tempted to misuse the goods of creation or of our neighbor out of selfishness.
Jesus spoke about dependence on God in a very powerful way. He said to His disciples, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life and what you will eat, or about your body and what you will wear. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothing." He went on to say, "All the nations of the world seek for these things, and your Father knows that you need them. Instead, seek His kingdom, and these other things will be given you besides." And Jesus went on to emphasize, "For where your treasure is, there also will your heart be."
We shouldn't become so focused on creation that we forget the Creator. When we don't honor the true purpose of goods as a common gift from God meant for all people to use to meet their needs, we're putting things above God.
We are called to pursue God with the freedom of an undivided heart. Remember that the first 3 commandments require us to put God above all things. This also means that we need to remember our purpose. We are created to share in God's life and love for all eternity in heaven.
The 7th and 10th commandments call us to respect creation as a common good. And Jesus invites us to grow in poverty of heart with the help of His grace.
This attitude of our heart is a detachment from riches. And Jesus speaks strongly about the importance of this attitude in order to enter the kingdom of heaven. This also means we are called to trust that God will provide for our needs.
Jesus wants us to see creation as a gift that brings us closer to God. The things or money we possess shouldn't take our focus away from God and away from the charity, justice, and generosity we're called to show our neighbors. Creation is not an end in itself, but is meant to orient us toward God and give us opportunities to practice charity toward our neighbors.
We are called to love one another as Jesus has loved us. This means that we trust each other to use God's creation for the good intended by God. This also means that we should have an undivided heart, not giving in to envy or greed, and respecting the rights of others to use God's creation for their needs. We should treat created things as a gift from God and respect with a pure heart how God distributes his gifts.
This is the Catechism of the Catholic Church. It's the official summary written by the Church of everything Catholics believe. But if the contents of this catechism are unlocked, it can change the world. We believe the Catechism isn't a dry, dusty textbook. It's a gift. It's the faithful echo of a God who desires to reveal himself to us. We're creating content that's relevant, watchable, the type of content you want to share with your friends. And all of this will be free to the world and translated into multiple languages.
Relationships are that way for sure. It's about getting to know someone and then trusting that person.
Las relaciones son así. Se trata de conocer a alguien y luego confiar en ese.
Dépendait fréquemment de la foi des gens en lui et en son pouvoir.
Dependia da fé das pessoas nele. Jesus também foi modelo de fé porque confiou.
We're transforming the letter into a living voice for the modern world. We're creating videos, stories, animations, podcasts, social media. We're creating content that's relevant, watchable, the type of content you want to share with your friends. To help people fall in love with the Catechism, the Church, and the heart of the Catechism, Jesus. Join us and help unlock the Catechism for the world. Join in the project to retransform the letter into a living voice.